Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the DeKalb County Central United School District Board of Education regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, June 16th, 2026. At this time, I'll ask all that are able to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Angie, could you do a roll call, please?
Lauren Anderson.
Present.
Ellery Armstrong.
Present.
Tony Baker.
Present.
Tony O'Neill.
Present.
Kate Easter.
Present.
Thanks, Angie. Tonight we'll begin with our presentations.
Yes, we're excited this evening in June. We always take a moment to honor the numerous retirements that we have in the district. We're a district that employs over 500 staff members, and so it's not uncommon to have a number of retirements every year. We have a larger than normal group of retirees based on my list here, 10 retirements. Not all were able to join us this evening. It's summertime and there's a lot of things happening, and some retirees are getting right after it and enjoying their retirement and couldn't be here tonight. But we're certainly thankful and honored to have a number of our retirees here with us this evening so that we can recognize their years of service to DeKalb Central Schools. And to begin, we're going to start with Mr. Wagner, the principal of the high school, with the retiree that he'll be recognizing this evening.
Thank you. Good evening. Mrs. Corkle, you want to join me over here? Minutes. I decided to give you 22 years of service, so I'm going to talk 22 minutes plus 3, so 25 total minutes. But Gina Corkle has been working for DeKalb Central Schools for 22 years. 20 of those years have been as the nurse at DeKalb High School. I've had the opportunity to work with you for 11 years of your 20 in the various roles that I've had within the district. Gina is always a very caring person, and I was always wanted the very best for our students and our staff. She was always worried about where I was going to be, and I think at one point you said, I could not retire before you retired, so you beat me to the retirement. Gina was always eager to learn about technology, and even though that wasn't her forefront, she would always come and say, I think I understand it, or I've got it. She was always willing to learn, and I appreciate that about her. She was always knew when to tell me I needed to know something when it came to the medical concerns or care of our building. She would always come just slowly walking past my office to see how things were going, always surveyed the scene, but always told me what I needed to know along those lines in her own manner. So I greatly appreciate that. Gina is a very passionate person, and she always wants to win. And I think that that's important, that she was always following her passions outside of school, during school, and provide the best care for us. So, and obviously, Gina, the last several weeks, you weren't able to be with us, and I told you that you need to do what you need to do for yourself, but we definitely missed you in the office, and I know you missed us, but we wish you congratulations and wish you the very best on retirement, so thank you. Yep.
Thank you, Gina.
Thanks, Gina.
Mrs. Weishart from the middle school.
It takes very special people to work at a middle school. We all know, with the shenanigans and all the things that happen there. And I couldn't be more blessed than to offer congratulations to the 2 retirees I'm going to talk about this evening. I want to start by saying that we had an awesome celebration together on the last day of school, where we were able to shed some tears and have some memories and some moments. But I want to say from a personal note that both Mary Campman and Nancy Brown have been a blessing to me, and they both told me that they would give me a couple more years. They each gave me 1 more and stayed. You did say 1. But the stories that I've heard, I just want to start, Mary, if you want to join me here. I know you don't like that. Mary is a master in the classroom. Not only kids flock to her. Not only does she see some relationships forming and have some opinions about those, but loves them and has been a master with math. This is an English teacher who can't math, and Mary knows it way more than I do, but you spent so much time one-on-one with kids, helping them to feel successful at the things that they couldn't do themselves. Not only with the students, I know you want me to stop. I can tell, just stop. Not only with the students, Mary, though, but with the staff. The staff looked to Mary as a mentor. The staff looked to Mary as a friend, as someone who supported them. You were so much fun at dances, and I won't tell the story Mr. Teeters told me about dances, EC trip or something.
There it is.
But Mary chaperoned many dances, and we were together just having fun with the kids, and you loved on them on ways that they needed the most at the time. So thank you for your many 19 years. 33. Oh my goodness!
She can't math. You can't math.
He said it was.
33 years in the district.
Yeah, 31 at the middle school.
Wow.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And thank you just for the friendly.
That's where my heart is.
I know. Thank you. Congratulations. We were really worried when Nancy left because we are not even really sure all the things that she does behind the scenes. We're really worried. She left us a book and a calendar and filled it all. Literally took a calendar and filled out every month what it is that she does to keep the middle school running. And that is the truth. When I became a teacher, they told me the people you need to know run the school are the secretaries. And Nancy, that's you. But not only did you do it with efficiency and creativity, but you did it with humility and love. And you were always there. You were one step ahead of us, always. She's loved by students and staff alike. Was the face that people saw when they walked in the door. Mrs. Brown is a name known by everyone across this county. And we are going to miss you so much. Thank you for the love that you've shared with us. Thank you. I mixed up. 19 at DeKalb. It's Nancy, 24 in the district.
Yes.
Wow.
I would have gone for 25, but
I tried. Every day I tried. Thank you to DeKalb Middle School retirees.
All right. Mrs. Brandt, Country Meadow. And Mrs. Rice.
I'm tag mom.
You share some stuff.
I have 3 retiring from Country Meadow Elementary, and we are going to start with Mrs. Marley. We are. We are. First comes trouble. I'm just kidding. Today we want to celebrate her 33 years here in the district. An incredible person, and when I arrived at Country Meadow, she made me feel comfortable. She was welcoming. I've been there for 2 years, and I feel like I've known Jamie for a very long time. Her energy in the gym is amazing. The students respond. They connect with her. She develops relationships with them, and then for 33 years, she's been a positive role model, encouraging generations to stay active and to be fit, to work hard, and to have fun. So thank you for your years of service and your commitment to the district, and the friendships you've shared along the way.
I learned at Waterloo's farewell that I can't look at Jamie and I have to write it out. So I apologize, but I have to do this, otherwise I won't make it through there. When you think of DeKalb Central, it's hard not to think of Jamie. For decades, she has been a constant present, a trusted leader, a caring colleague, and a fierce advocate for her students. Her impact reaches far beyond any one classroom, office, or school building. She has helped shape the culture of our district and touched the lives of countless students, families, and staff members along the way. Jamie is known and respected throughout our community, not because she sought recognition, but because she consistently did what was right. She cared deeply about people. She listened when others needed a voice, She advocated for students who needed support, she showed up for colleagues when they needed encouragement, and she did it all with a genuine kindness that can't be taught. If you know Jamie, you know she's generous, not just with her time, but with her heart. She has celebrated our successes, helped us through challenges, and reminded us all that relationships matter most. Of course, we would be remiss if we didn't mention her sense of humor. Jamie has a way of making people smile, even during the busiest and most stressful days. Her laughter, quick wit, and ability to find joy in the everyday moments have made our schools better places to work and learn. While Jamie has mastered many things throughout her career, there is one area where she may not have reached expert status: technology. Let's just say, if patience is a virtue, anyone who has ever helped Jamie with technology has earned sainthood. But what Jamie may have lacked in tech savviness, she more than made up for it in wisdom, authenticity, and common sense. She never let technology replace what she valued most: human connection. Jamie, your career has been defined by compassion, integrity, generosity, and unwavering dedication. You've made a lasting difference in the lives of thousands of people, and your legacy will continue long after you leave these walls. On behalf of everyone whose life you've touched, thank you. Thank you for your service, your leadership, your advocacy, your humor, and your heart. We wish you endless happiness, relaxation, adventures, and time spent with the people you love. Happy retirement.
I'd like to say a few words about Jamie.
Oh, gosh. No. Come on. All of them. I'm trying to think if I had either had them in school or taught with them.
So I think it was 2001, don't sit down. In 2001, I was at Garrett, and there were 3 high school math positions open. So I interviewed for those 3, and needless to say, they chose poorly. So I called Tom Sanborn and said, "Hey, I hear you have a math opening in the middle school." He says, "How do you know?" I said, "Well, I think Mr. Mikowski was promised one of the 3.
Right.
So I missed out on the other 2. He said, "When can you come over and interview?" I said, "How about tonight?" I said, "I'll be there." So he and I talked. I went through some evaluation with Mr. Knapp. He called my wife and said, "Hey, well, does Tony really want this job?" She said, "Yes." So I think my name went up at the June board meeting. Thank goodness they approved me. And then I was supposed to meet with 2 people in the middle school about the life team. And he said, "You're going to meet with Jamie and some young guy named Steve." I said, "Okay." So needless to say, if you don't know Jamie, Jamie talks a lot. So she was communicating with a fellow teacher about what's wrong with this guy. You know, there's 3 positions available, and we're going to get stuck with him.
Oh, my God.
I'll keep it clean.
Oh, gosh.
So needless to say, I met with Steve and Jamie that July, and I learned a lot about her. I learned about the life team and how competitive she was about the page team.
Yeah.
Yeah, a competitor she is.
Yeah.
That was 25 years ago.
I know. I can't.
We've come a long way.
No.
We've been through many things that we can't talk about.
Yeah.
Relay for Life nights,
Yeah.
those were crazy. But
Relay, everything. DC, relay, I mean, just track. Oh, Lord.
I can tell you that
Of 'em.
I probably would not be sitting here without Jamie and her leadership and her desire to win and to push everybody to be their best. So I want to thank you publicly
Thank you
for
so much.
pushing me. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Oh, that's nice. That's so nice. I knew that I belonged here because kind of like you, when I got this job, I was actually over at East Noble. I was sitting there waiting to interview. Doug and I had moved this way at that time, and this lady comes out and she said, "Are you here to interview?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Oh, well, you probably they just hired me." I said, "Oh, really?" Sandy Arnold. And she had left here. She said, "But I just left DeKalb, so you might want to go over there." and see if that job's open. I said, oh, okay. So I get in the car and I zip right over, and Karen Camp's at the front, right? And Tom's in the office, and I said, I'm just here to talk with Tom Sanborn. Knew his sister, but not him directly. But long story short, we had a discussion, and we had a mutual friend. And as soon as I brought his name up, it was kind of like Bobby Knight when he looked up. He goes, "How you know him?" And I said, "Well, let's just have a little chat." So it was rest was history. But Knapp's perceiver about put me under, and then he did nothing. But they ended up hiring me. So 40 total years. Been here 33.
We turned out okay.
Yeah, we did. 6 at the elementary. What is it? How is that math?
I don't know.
Let's go with you. So, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. I also wrote things out, but my next person is Tammy Althouse. Ready? I wanted to thank Tammy for 24 years of dedicated service in education. Throughout your career, you've played an important role helping students succeed and reach their full potential. Whether you were supporting teachers in the classroom or helping students during lunch, recess, stepping in wherever you were needed, including subbing, but you always did so with care and patience. Your hard work behind the scenes has made a lasting difference in the lives of countless students and staff members. And we appreciate the impact that you've had on everybody. And oftentimes the impact of a paraprofessional is often felt in ways that may not always be seen. So please know that your hard work has never gone unnoticed. Your dedication and commitment and willingness to help others has been an invaluable part of our Country Meadow family. Thank you for your years of service, your caring heart, and the many ways you've contributed to make our school community better. We appreciate all that you've done. We wish you happiness, good health, and many wonderful adventures in your retirement.
I love that.
She hasn't stopped smiling.
No, it's the right decision.
Last but not least, from Country Meadow is Ann Owen.
Hey.
Today I want to recognize another wonderful teacher, professional, truly caring person. From the day I started, you always made me feel welcome, and you would come to my office at the end of the day and say, "Well, when are you heading home?" Very soon, sure, very soon. So those small acts of kindness showed so many people and so many staff members that you just genuinely care about them, and we appreciate that. You always have looked out for others, whether it was your students, your colleagues, or families. Your love for students was evident in everything you did, and the strong relationships you built with parents, staff, and children are a testament of the impact you've made throughout your career. You've been a mentor to so many staff members, offering guidance, encouragement, and support whenever it was needed. Your influence extends far beyond the classroom and will continue through many educators you've inspired. So we thank you for your dedication, your kindness, and the difference you've made in so many lives. Congratulations on your retirement. We wish you happy and
I've wanted to teach since I was in first grade and got my first teaching job in kindergarten. So I am so grateful to have been a part of DeKalb, where I grew up at Waterloo Elementary, and of course the middle school and high school and all the way through, and just been so grateful to be surrounded by wonderful educators. And this is going to be hard for me, but I am looking forward to it.
We're always looking for volunteers. The pay's terrible.
We had a number of other volunteers who were not able to join us this evening. Melissa Buttermore retiring from James R. Watson Elementary, Linda Tillman from McKinney Harrison Elementary, Rocky Myers from Waterloo, and Laura Hyman from the Transportation Department. So, and that was just a recent one that was, that we didn't receive too long ago. So congratulations and thank you for the years of service to DeKalb Central. It's certainly, I've had interactions with all of you on all different levels. We could talk about the DC trip, Mary, but I won't go there.
I don't even think he knows.
It was all good. It was all good. All good, but thank you, everyone. Appreciate all your years of service.
Yes, thank you for being here tonight, and I just want to thank you all for being good to each other, to making DeKalb what it is, and being good to our kids, and we thank you. So congratulations.
Congrats.
Okay, next we will hit item E, which is adopt and amend the agenda. I'll ask the board for a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item F is the consent agenda. This includes items F1, board minutes, F2, financial report, F3, claims, F4, personnel, and F5, field trips. This time I'll ask the board for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I will include, I do believe one of our people that we just approved is here tonight, Mrs.
yes.
Edwards.
Jennifer Edwards, yes. Just
Welcome.
approved her as assistant principal at the high school.
So welcome to DeKalb again.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'm really, really thrilled with the opportunity to come. It feels like coming home. I've said that. I've had the opportunity to work with the leadership team of it already, and I'm really, really looking forward to and thrilled with the opportunity. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you. And thank you for
Welcome
being
back.
here tonight. Okay, item G, our donations.
We do have a number of donations once again this month. Mrs. Weishart shares, she's had several donations, one from Best Deal Auto Sales of $580 for the Portrait Pursuit, which was a great activity and event at the middle school. Taylor Rental donated $248 worth of support materials for that event. Metal X, Cans for Cody fundraiser, you may recall this, matched the student staff donations of cans. Our students and staff raised $1,072, and Metal X matched it, making it a total donation of $2,145 to the Kramer family in Cody's fight against leukemia. And then the update on that, Carrie has shared, Metal X dropped off an additional check for $2,011.25. They processed excess cans that were brought in after the deadline, and then the parent company of Metal X donated an additional $2,000. So just an outstanding outpouring of support for Cody in his battle with leukemia, and other donations coming in to support activities at the middle school. We have several different donations that came in from the high school as well, supporting DeKalb High School athletics, and a number of checks supporting the FFA program. So just thankful once again to our community and individuals and organizations that continue to show an outpouring of support for our students.
Yep.
It's great to see.
Thank you, that's amazing. Up next is item H, the report of superintendent.
So the first recommendation, this a continuation of from the past two board meetings in the discussions of our withdrawal from the Northeast Indiana Special Education Cooperative. I won't go into great detail. We spent a lot of time in April talking about the program analysis from the consultant that we were working with, Angela Balsley. And then May, we spent a lot of time with updates from the financial analysis from Nathan Williamson, who we use on a number of different accounts that we work in with the title grants. And with his background and experience with special ed and state funding and the DOE, Both those individuals came back with strong recommendations that if we wanted to go independent as a school corporation and run our special education program without the support of the co-op, that we are in alignment to be able to do that and should not see significant increase other than just a year-over-year increase, normal increase that you will see with expenses. So we left April and May. We really provided a lot of details, a lot of information. We shared a lot of information and really opened up the door for any staff member, parents, board members to provide feedback so that we could make an informed decision. This is June of 2026, so this is our deadline month to ultimately make a decision. I am looking to officially recommend that the board approve the district's withdrawal from the Northeast Indiana Special Education Cooperative and authorize the administration to proceed with the transition to an independent special education service model with the full implementation beginning the 27-28 school year. So with this decision, if the board supports the withdrawal, we will remain in the co-op for this next school year. That will then allow us that year to plan for our transition so that we will be ready to take on our own special education programs and service starting the 27-28 school year. And I would envision monthly updates, if not more, to the board so you know exactly where we're at with our planning and the transition in overseeing our special education services. So I would respectfully ask for the board's consideration to approve the request to officially withdraw from the Northeast Indiana Special Education Cooperative.
Thank you, Steve. At this time, I'll ask the board for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Are we just voting on one, or are we voting on one and two?
Just one. The second one is it's separate. It's dealing with the co-op, but it's a separate issue. Yeah, I'll talk about that, and I just vote on the first one.
Any other discussion? Okay. I just appreciate the deep dive that you guys did in the research and everything.
And it was a team approach for sure. For sure.
And just the fact that we know that the ultimate goal was to do what's best for our students.
Yes.
And I saw that through and through with all of our discussions. So thank you.
And all the time behind doors that people put in, that overtime.
And it was worth it. We had great discussions and great evaluation, staff input and parent input, so across the board, so it was really good.
Even students were concerned about what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's nice that we get kids engaged.
And this will be more work. I mean, this was no, making things easier.
No.
This is actually, but when you ultimately have a goal, what is right for our kids and our community, I think that's what.
Keep your eye on the prize.
Yeah. Yep. All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you for that, and okay, time to get to work.
Go.
We got some planning to do. Thank you. The second one would be a normal. We do have one more year with the co-op as a result of your action. So there is a minor update to the joint service agreement with the co-op. It really doesn't apply to us any longer since the board just approved withdrawing. But I would ask for the board's approval of the update to the joint service agreement. Basically, the only change to it was to limit the number of times a school corporation could submit their letter to leave the co-op to once every 5 years. So that's really not an issue for us any longer since we are going to be going on our own after next school year. But I would ask for the board's approval of that revision so I can send that back to the co-op director so they can put that agreement in place that will go on with the other member corporations into the future.
Okay, at this time, I'll ask for a motion to amend the joint service agreement.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I appreciate that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 3, H3.
Yeah, the number 3 is just information only. Each summer, We bring a list of fundraisers for different activities at the middle school and high school. We'll see these come in also for the elementaries as well. And anytime we get new ones, we try to bring those to the board just for informational purposes, because as board members, I'm sure you hear a lot out in the community about different fundraisers that we have out there. So we really want to know what organization is it for, what will the fundraiser be used for, and then the estimated profit. And so you have a list from the high school, and you have a list from the middle school. I would entertain any questions you might have. I know Mr. Wagner and Mrs. Weishart are here as well, and they could address any specific questions you might have about any one of the fundraisers on the list provided.
Do we still need to approve it though?
There's
We don't
nothing
need
to
to approve
approve,
it?
it's just
Okay.
information
Any
only.
questions?
But any questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, item H4, the Director of Information Services.
Josh Yankee currently serves as the district's Power School expert. I think within the district, he's kind of known as the Power School Ninja. And he's responsible for the critical functions related to student information management, state reporting, assessment administration, and data governance. His role has just grown year over year as the student information management system has grown, and for what the state has required for school corporations to oversee and to send to them and to keep information accurate and relevant. His role has evolved well beyond the traditional student information system support and now encompasses district-wide leadership responsibilities that are essential to the operation of the school corporation. To accurately reflect the scope of their responsibilities and provide appropriate leadership for information services, I'm recommending the creation, essentially changing his position to a director's position of information services and the appointment of Josh Yankee to that role. So not adding personnel, changing a title because of the increased responsibilities that he is taking on in that role. If approved, this will be a full-time 12-month position with an annual salary of $77,500. This represents an increase of $5,906.40, or an 8.25% increase over Josh's current annual salary. The salary adjustment reflects the expanded responsibilities he currently performs, including state reporting, data governance, assessment administration, student information system leadership, vendor management, staff supervision, and different district-level strategic planning. There's a list of other pieces of information that are in there as well. And when I think about leaving the co-op and knowing that there are going to be additional student information requirements that are going to land on his lap within his department, that makes this change even more important for us, as this coming year will be the time that we are planning for that transition for when we are on our own, managing all of our special education services. His role will be expanding with that as well. So I'd entertain any questions that you might have. Josh has been a long time, very valuable employee. He is everything Power School and state reporting here at DeKalb Central. And he continues to take on, I can't say it enough, he continues to take, whether he takes on more himself or we have to assign him more to do, he does it with a smile on his face. And if he doesn't know a solution to a problem, he will find the solution. And he's a great communicator. He works well with all of our buildings and all of our building leadership teams. And so I would just greatly appreciate the board's consideration to create this director position for Josh. Again, it's not adding personnel, it's adding responsibilities and a title to an individual that I think is greatly deserving of it.
Would this position have any direct reports?
The direct report would either be, well, currently it would be with the superintendent.
No, would he have anybody
Yes,
reporting to
one.
him? One.
Yes.
So there's his backup.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Alana Coffey.
I mean, that's a problem when you have a person
Yep.
like that, right? If there's only one and something happens,
Yep.
hit the lottery or
Yep.
buy enough Bitcoin to retire and all that kind of stuff. And you're sitting there high and dry, you don't have anybody, and those kind of people are hard to find.
We do have redundancy in that department. I will say, if anything did happen to Josh, we would be hurting for sure, and we'd have to catch up. But we do have someone in that role and has been in that role for now about 2 years. So they work in the same office, so they collaborate often.
Okay, at this time, I'll ask the board for a motion to approve the Director of Information Services.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item H5, the 2026-2027 Student Handbook Updates.
I have a lot of moving parts and pieces tonight, so I said I was gonna move kind of slowly through them so I don't leave anything out. Last week, I sent you an additional memo just forewarning you that the handbooks were coming, and they did. I'm gonna go through each one separately. If you have any questions or comments, now would be the time to talk about them. Every year we look at this and we clean up a little bit more. It's like, yeah, we look through them every year, but we always find something. Or the laws change, then our language has to change. Or we add programming, so we have to put language in the handbooks. So I think we do a good job. The administrators do a good job of combing through it, keeping notes throughout the year. There are times when I'll say, Marcus, make a note of this. We've got to change this in the handbook for next year. So we keep Post-its and we keep notebooks to make sure that we take care of that business when it's time to renew the handbooks. So the first handbook for your consideration tonight, and it's up to you, Mrs. Armstrong, do you want to do all of them together, or do you want to do them separately, or do we want to wait and see if there's any discussion that needs to be?
What do you guys want to do?
Just whatever you
Wait
want.
and see if there's any discussion. We have to,
Let's try to do them all together.
okay.
Okay. So please also know that page numbers will change. Once the handbooks are approved, the principals will go back in and clean up the formatting and get the page numbers aligned appropriately. And then, of course, the handbooks will be posted on our website for public to see and use readily, and they will begin immediately. So the first one I brought is the high school handbook. Again, if you go through it, we kind of did the cliff notes. All new language was highlighted in yellow, and the type was in red, so that's new language, as you know. Strike-throughs were also highlighted in yellow because they get a little hard to see, so that was consistent throughout the 4 handbooks so that you weren't playing by different rules every time you looked at a handbook. So we have the high school, we have the middle school. We tried to, Carrie and Marcus work together to try to align some things between the 2 buildings and to make transitions a little easier for students. And that went pretty well. I think we're in good shape there. The third handbook I want to spend a little more time on, and that is the DeKalb Virtual Academy handbook. Mr. Lees and Mr. Wagner work on this handbook, and Mrs. Weishart, because it involves middle school kids. A lot of the rules pertain whether you're at the high school or whether you're the virtual academy, but some of them don't. Some of them don't. What I left at your place this evening was, I left you a sheet that looks like this, and this is a corrected page out of the DVA handbook that we need to make sure goes in instead of the one that's actually in there. We did some more searching, came across some Indiana code that made it essential for us to put that language into the DVA handbook. Actually, the state has code that pertains just to virtual academies. If you look at letter G, intervention procedures, the first one is exactly what we do with all attendance. We have the conferences at the 10-day mark, or excuse me, at the 5-day mark, and then we have to do that within 10 days in person. We get down to bullet number 4 under intervention procedures. This is Indiana code for virtual academies only. Upon a student's 10th consecutive unexcused absence, the student must be withdrawn from the DeKalb Virtual Academy. So that is code, and that is new that needs to be put in. So we have that covered just in the Virtual Academy handbook. The 18th excused or unexcused is the same as we practice in our buildings. And then when you get down to the next to last bullet, this is also aligned to Indiana Code for virtual academies only upon a student's 18th cumulative. So the key words here are consecutive and cumulative. But upon the student's 18th cumulative unexcused absence, the student must be withdrawn from the DeKalb Virtual Academy. And then you'll see the note at the bottom of that page, a student withdrawn from DVA in accordance with Indiana Code 20-19-9-5 will not be eligible to re-enroll in DeKalb Virtual Academy until the following academic school year. So those were important things that needed to be in there and clearly stated. And will probably have to be reviewed more than once, I would imagine, with some of our students. So. And that will happen about on the same page or on around 25, 27, but that'll be injected where it belongs into the DVA handbook. Any questions about that? That's a lot, okay? And then we have, of course, the elementary handbook. All changes were suggested and highlighted the same. Minimal this year. We're getting it dialed in. Not so many moving parts and pieces at the elementary, which is a good thing. So my recommendation tonight is to request the board consider approving then the additions to our student handbooks for the 26-27 school year. Again, our administrators have conducted a comprehensive review of their handbooks to ensure alignment with board policy, state and federal guidelines, district procedures, and current educational practices. I think I went over everything else there. So that's my recommendation, and my request is for you to consider approving our handbooks for the next school year.
Okay, thank you, Lori. This time I'll bring a motion to the board.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. I had to pull what hair I have left out. I'm trying to read through all this stuff and can't imagine using a highlighter. I know you didn't. But I just noticed just now on the high school credit courses for the middle school, it says Algebra 1 can be taken. It's on page 10, currently on 10. It says Algebra 1 can be taken as a 7th or an 8th grader. And since I was an algebra teacher, occasionally you get a 6th grader that is smarter than me in math. And I had a 5th grader one time that took it as a student. Now, I don't know, you're shaking your head no.
Marcus can, or Marcus or Carrie can
Carrie
probably
can address that.
According to the new math guidance from the state.
Sure.
So we have accelerated math for 6th
Yeah, yeah.
graders, but they are no longer taking Algebra 1 also because of the new diploma track.
Right.
That doesn't allow for that because by the time you get to the high school, they don't have the math credits.
Yeah.
They won't get credit for that.
If they take algebra before 7th grade,
They run out of
math
classes.
at the high school, as far as we want to talk about preparing them for, I mean, those are the students that most likely are going to be going on to college after high school. We don't have, they would already, as a junior, they would already gone through Cal BC. So it's just working to align that the 7th grade year, some of the students may be eligible for that, or the 8th grade year, but really trying to dial that in.
Right.
That way we can progress through accordingly to benefit the students to ensure, because there's still math standards at the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade standard that are foundational that need to be taught in order to move forward where into algebra, geometry, algebra 2, and so on. And the math realm of things has drastically changed because there is, I mean, business math coming into the high school level.
Right.
Analytical algebra 2, a lot of different math classes that involve maybe some more technical job training skills. I mean, analytical algebra 2 covers credit recovery, not credit, but how to use APR, mortgage, car loan. So there's a lot of different things there too. So it's just changed the scope of that, just trying to get that dialed in a little bit.
Yeah, I was just, my question was, do we have something set up for those advanced kids that once they get into be a junior, there's nothing for them to take? Is there an online college credit they can take, because since I had those kids and I let them do whatever they wanted because they were smarter than me, including Parker.
I mean, we've got AP stats that
Yeah,
some students opt to take.
sure.
Some students have opted to do what we want to call a dual enrollment,
Right,
where they're going to Trine or they're going to Ivy Tech or PFW, but again, dual enrollment comes with a cost.
yes.
So it's being mindful too of how do we transition and progress students.
Right.
And also too, of making sure that they're staying up on their math skills. So there are options out there.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Kind
Have a
of a
question.
good problem. It's a shame, kind of, but the state has kind of dictated us to make those changes.
Yes.
Can't trust the state.
However, kudos to Carrie and Marcus for
Yes.
understanding.
Well,
all
working
of these
together
changes.
to align it too,
Yes.
you know, getting out of our silos and really working
Yes.
together to create those
Right.
pathways.
Yes, I know I've had lots of questions myself, but the wealth of knowledge that these two have
Oh.
with this.
Oh.
So I appreciate both of you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, item H6 is acceptance of the 2026-2027 United Way Impact Grant Award.
For the last few years, Michelle Wagner, our elementary curriculum director, has been writing this grant to hopefully receive funding for our annual kindergarten orientation for incoming kindergartners. It's been a great little program, and Michelle's done a good job writing the grants because we've gotten it every year we've written. So thank you to Michelle, and thank you to the United Way of DeKalb County. We request approval. Tonight, I'm asking for you to approve $9,500, $9,500 through the United Way Impact Grant. Kindergarten orientation starts on July 20th, and the funds will be used to support the activities to help familiarize students with schools and meet teachers and promote kindergarten readiness, and even send some things home with the children to start working on things that parents and children can do together. So it's been well received, and it's grown a little bit, and it's a nice way to get kindergartners ready. So we again thank Michelle, and we thank United Way, and just asking for you to approve accepting that money.
Okay, I'll bring the option for a motion to the board.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, item H7 is our district health initiative.
Okay, so this came along, also I had to send this a late memo to you because I was waiting for the agreement to come back from legal. When we sign MOUs and agreements, I always like to run them through legal just in case. I'm not a lawyer, but this one came through fine. Jen Hager, our district nurse, has done a great job doing some research and found an opportunity to write a grant, and I'm not even sure it's a grant. I think it's a request more than anything, and sign the agreement to work with a company who is willing to provide our schools with the new NEFI, nasal, and I've been practicing this word all day. Now I can't even find it to say it.
Epinephrine.
Epinephrine, thank you. Currently, we are stocked with pens, the injector pens, self-injecting. And in order to use those, we have to train our people our nurses, of course, know how to use them. But we also have to train teachers because kids go on field trips, or if we've got an emergency out at recess. And it's kind of nerve-wracking for people if they're not used to doing that. They get a little bit uneasy about, sticking that pen in a child's leg. And so this agreement would provide the new nasal sprays for allergic reactions or anaphylactic shock, whatever it happens to be used. And they are expensive, but if we agree to sign the certification form, they'll be provided to our schools at least this year at no cost, and we would then start using those this school year. We usually get a prescription. I think Dr. Souter usually writes the prescription for us to be able to get the pens, but we wouldn't have to do that this year. We would use this.
Do you know if those have an expiration date on them?
I guess I would say I would assume so, but I wouldn't think it would be a few weeks. I think, from what I understand, this would be a supply for the school year.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you, Lori.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Epinephrine.
That's a tough one.
And I use a pen, so I know. I know, okay.
Okay, item H8 is our draft policy proposal.
Okay, this is the last thing on my list. Let me advance my screen here. There we go. Well, there's been a lot of talk about this policy in particular, the bell-to-bell cell phone ban, which goes into effect July 1st, this summer. And so the edict from the state is that as a board, we have to pass a policy that follows the state law of banning cell phones bell to bell. And so that's what I have for you tonight, the first policy. And just, I think I gave you a little bit of history, but just for public's sake, just want to go over it kind of quickly for everybody's knowledge. So Senate Enrolled Act 78 is going to become law this July 1st, and it requires Indiana school corporations to adopt a policy governing student use of wireless communication devices during the school day. A school day is defined in the law as the time a student is present on school property for instruction. The definition of wireless communication devices includes cell phones, tablets, laptops, gaming devices, and certain smartwatches capable of voice messaging or data communication. It also defines a school-sanctioned wireless communication device as a student or vendor-owned device approved for instructional use, also known as our Chromebooks, and subject to school-managed network controls. But it may not be a phone, gaming device, or a smartwatch. The act requires school boards to adopt a policy that requires the devices to be powered off, stored, and inaccessible to the student for the school day, or prohibits students from bringing such devices to school. The law also provides mandatory exceptions. The policy may not prohibit devices use when it is required by an individual education program, an IEP, or a Section 504 plan. When it is necessary to manage a documented medical condition with provider authorization. When it is authorized by the superintendent during an emergency. When it is needed for language translation for multilingual learners, prioritizing school-managed devices where available. And when an audio recording device used by a student that is unobtrusive and used for personal education note-taking if the device is designed only for spoken word capture and does not record images or video. That again would probably fall back onto a 504 or an IEP. So those are kind of the guidelines that Senate Enrolled Act 78 laid out for us. Working with ISBA, they basically gave us two choices when it comes to policy. The first choice is the one that I'm introducing to you this evening. The second choice was banning them completely and not allowing students to bring them to school at all. We kind of felt like that was going to be pretty difficult to police, to be very honest with you. I also would like to say that in working with the principals on policy and consequences and those types of things, you know, we all feel like we've had this pretty well under control. Students have been cooperative, parents have been cooperative, we handle it accordingly, case by case, and so it was a little bit disappointing that now we have to do this. But I think I'm very proud of the way that they looked at it, and you'll see another document that I provided for you tonight that I'm going to go over are the consequences that each school will be administering if, in fact, a student does not follow the rule. So let's talk about the policy first. You have a copy of the ISBA policy, number 4307. It basically mirrors what I just read publicly. If you have any questions, please ask them now. I will tell you that at the middle school and the high school, the phones will be put in student lockers because that's a secure location. Those lockers lock. At the elementary, we have a little bit different situation. We don't have secure places that belong to students. So what we talked about as an administrative team, elementary principals, we will work with our teachers to come up with a place in their classroom to securely store the phones at the beginning of the day and to be able to release them at the end of the day. A couple of people had good ideas. Those back of the door shoe pocket things, just something where they can be placed away where they're not accessible by students until the bell rings. I would also tell you that, as a note, this will not apply to riding to and from school on a school bus, for obvious reasons. And we also would tell you that this will not apply to the DeKalb Virtual Academy for obvious reasons. So this will be basically what we live by in our elementary, middle, and high school. Any questions about the policy moving forward as it is?
And my question was gonna be, what about the bus rides to and from? You know, we need to let the bus drivers know it's a yes or a no thing.
We've already
So-
talked to Danielle about it to make sure the message is clear. The great thing about devices on a school bus is a lot of times kids get on, put their earbuds in, or they're quiet, and they get off the bus, and so it's not necessarily been a bad thing.
Correct.
And it would be pretty hard for bus drivers to police that. We would not want that
Right.
added responsibility. So feel good about that.
What communication is going out to parents as far as kind of prepping them and preparations for
Good question.
how I need to communicate with my child because I can't during the school day?
Right, so we have the handbooks, of course, that will go out, but the principals, we've talked about that, sending messages home prior to the start of school year, probably also at registration, letting them know what is and what isn't going to be allowable.
Once we have the approved policy in place, then we can work on that communication plan to make sure that all of our parents and staff and students receive that information.
That's probably one of those day one rules that you go through as staff members with the administrators, and then
Yeah,
as teachers go
absolutely.
through with kids. When it says no, that doesn't mean on.
Yeah, we gotta be
Right.
consistent across
No.
the board on that.
Consistency is going to be key,
It's just no.
always is.
Yep.
And principals will work with both their teachers and their students
Right.
and their parents, I guess all three, to make sure everybody understands. And it is a law, so it's not our choice anymore. But again, I will say, I think that our admin team has done a good job of taking care of that business now. We have some kids that are reluctant, we have those kind of things, but we will have this in place moving forward.
Yeah, I do think it's a good idea to, allow them to bring them. I mean, back in the day, we had payphones to call our parents when we needed a ride. And I would dial, call and say, Dad,
Yeah.
come pick me up. And then, and
Before they accepted the call.
yes.
Yeah.
But, now we don't have phones accessible for kids to call their parents if they can if they go to the office, but.
There's office form. The
But,
office will be, that will be an answer that we give parents. How's my kid supposed to get a hold of me? They need to come to the office and call. There's also Parent Square, and there are some capabilities with Parent Square that we'll be looking at too, that will allow some communication when necessary.
Communication between students and their parents?
And their parent,
Okay.
yes.
Parent.
I mean, I
There's
know,
a feature to that we're
Okay.
exploring currently that other schools have put to use that we're kind of hearing from.
okay,
And so it might be that the option to take away some of that anxiety because we know parents are truly struggling with, I need to be able to get to, or to talk to my kid or communicate with them at school. We get that. So there might be a way to do that that's safe and is not going to cause a huge disruption, and we've already got the platform in place.
So stay tuned. know, because it just dawned on me the other day, I was thinking about this. Our parents now have never known sending their child to school without that communication device. You know, it's not been the norm for them at all. Their norm has been having their child have a cell phone.
Right,
So
right.
we want to be patient and understanding and follow the law.
What's the percentage of elementary students that have
That's a great
phones?
question. I have no idea.
I will tell you, it's very interesting when you do iLearn to see how many phones
Oh.
come out of classrooms.
Yeah,
We
because-
basically remove the phones from the room for
And
testing.
smartwatches
I
and,
would say 80 to 90% of fifth graders.
Like,
um,
I can see the fifth
and it
graders.
slowly goes down.
Yeah.
Even third grade, I would
Depends
say
on where you
it's
are.
50% of the kids.
Wow.
And sometimes during testing, they show up with big tablets just because everyone else has a phone. So
Yeah.
they want to be able to turn something
Yeah.
on. It's kind of a cool thing.
Let me get my phone out.
it is, it's amazing, yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah, so again, tonight, we just need to enact this policy.
Okay. This time I'll ask the board for a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I just remember having tin cans and strings and a button.
Well.
We thought we were
Ernie,
cool.
I think it's gonna be a lot of reconditioning for students and
Oh, boy.
families, so
Sure it
we're all
is.
gonna have to, adjust to a new normal.
I think the parents will have the harder time.
Yeah.
They'll be okay. The kids are good at school. They're fine.
They'll talk to each other.
Yeah.
Wow,
Good.
what a thing. Face to face.
Trusting them.
Lunch will be interesting.
The days of kicking you out of the house at 7
Yes, it
o'clock in
will.
the morning and don't be back until the street lights turn on or over.
Just go.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. We are legal now. It's
Okay.
June
Deep breath.
16th, and we've got the policy in place. I also left at your place just a list of what's in the handbooks, just the consequences. And if you look at them, you'll notice parent phone call, parent conferences, it's talking to parents, getting everybody on the same page. Confiscation of the phone, of course, but we do have some in-school suspension. We do invoke progressive discipline as needed. But all of us, when we talked about this, agreed that, communicating with the student, communicating with the parents, helping them understand. And again, we do have state law to lean on here. This isn't anything that we can be subjective about. This is the law. So I just think, this is going to be another good way for us to really build some relationships with parents too. So those just highlight what's in the handbook. The second policy for your consideration tonight is policy number 3340, reporting child abuse. By law, the state of Indiana requires all individuals to report any case of suspected child abuse or neglect to the Department of Child Services. Such reports must be made immediately when the individual has reason to believe that a child is a victim of abuse or neglect. The law also provides legal immunity for all individuals making such a report when made in good faith. Our existing policy has been updated to reflect only the necessary legal language. When I was combing through the existing policy, it was like a page and a half long, and there was a lot of things in it that didn't need to be in it, didn't belong in it. So the new policy, as per ISBA, is just the facts. And so we cleaned it up, and you can see the red. I just injected the school's name in both occasions, took out a lot of old language that just was obsolete at this point. We're very fortunate, and again, I praise the administrative team. They are never hesitant. We talk a lot about these things. They'll usually call, and we'll talk about it together, but they never hesitate to act on behalf of a child. When in doubt, make the call. And we do mandate training for all of our staff and employees on child abuse and neglect and the process for calling it in. I would also tell you, we've been emphasizing the last several years, court cases have been lost because of people not calling immediately. So we know the urgency, we know the need to address things immediately, and I think that we're doing a really good job with that. Sometimes the stories don't have very happy endings, but it's our duty to annual, isn't it, Melissa? The neglect is annual? Yeah. And we go over it also when we do new teacher orientation. That's one of my 7 deadly sins that I present. We talk about neglect and reporting. And thankfully, we also have school resource officers, so we kind of cover ourselves both ways. The law actually says or law enforcement, but we make the call. We make sure our resource officer knows what's going on. And sometimes we ask them to take care of it because sometimes DCS screens things out that we feel shouldn't be, and so we do as much as we can. So what you're looking at tonight is just the revised policy with the cleaned up language and the old language deleted.
All right, I'll ask the board for a motion to approve policy 3340, reporting child abuse.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you for all of your support. And if you think of things later, call me, stop by, whatever. Please do.
It's a lot of work. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. Okay, that brings us to item H9, the request to raise meal prices.
Yes, for our food service department, Aubrey has brought forward a request to raise our meal prices by 10 cents. That's the cap of the state. The state recommends right now a pricing of $4.15 for lunches. We currently, with this rate increase, will be at $2 for breakfast and $3 for lunch. So we're still well below the state average. And we just need board approval to implement the 10-cent increase for our breakfast and lunch for this coming school year.
Okay,
Those
thanks.
changes were highlighted in the handbook too. So
Okay, do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Did the staff lunch raise 10 cents too?
I don't have anything from her on that, so I'm not sure. I apologize. I'll
No,
find
that's
out.
okay.
But I don't know that.
Yeah, I just
It's a
let
good
them know ahead of
question.
time
It's a good question.
since I,
She's good about relaying that information at the beginning of the school year. She
Yeah.
may not have made that decision yet.
it's nice when someone else fixes lunch. It's kind of convenient.
Very nice.
It's very good too.
and dinner and breakfast.
I'm just saying.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, item H10 is Smart Systems Agreement Renewal.
Also for food services, Smart Systems is all of our cleaning supplies, food safety, education, all that kind of stuff. Fun stuff that the food service department has to deal with. Their total annual for this coming school year is $23,340. That breaks down into $23.34 per month. Last year, we were at $22.56.90, so we're looking at about a $77 increase per month. Not too bad for the chemicals and everything that Aubrey uses in the kitchens. So I'm just asking for board approval to sign this agreement for Smart Systems for the 26-27 school year.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, item H11.
Consistent with our past practices, if we look at cell phone stipends, we're requesting the cell phone stipends. I gave you a list of individuals based on the work that is done within the district. We have, 11 staff members that we're looking to. We have, started to shave this down a little bit, but there are some positions still that we feel are key for us to help contribute to the cell phone for special employees that, we can contact 24/7. This is just another benefit to just a handful of employees, so I would ask the board's consent for our cell phone stipends.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the cell phone stipends?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, item H12 is the 2026-27 travel agenda.
By our policies, 3440 and 4440, is that right, Laura? Those the right numbers?
Yes.
Verified with Lori, the policy expert. These are job-related expenses. I'm recommending the following list for travel addenda for 26-27 school year. We have several employees that have to travel building to building or from building, to the bank or wherever they may have to go. So I have that list in front of you. I would just ask the board's approval on our travel addenda. And Gina would testify for me. I can promise the board I go over this with a fine-tooth comb.
That's very true.
I'm not a fan of either of the two memos I just read, but I do appreciate that they are a benefit for our employees and they are important for certain employees. And I can promise the board that the people that are on this list all travel this amount and earn it.
Thanks, Mark.
Yep.
Great. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, item H13, the Change Academy lease agreement.
Remember last year, we started to rent part of the Choice Building facility on 7th Street to the Change Academy, which is run by the county, and also Case, which will be the next memo. So I'm bringing them both together. I'll give you one spiel for both, but each year we sign a lease with each of those, one with the county, the other one is with the LEA, which is DeKalb Eastern. For Case within there, all I do is break down the square footage and charge appropriately. We did have a slight increase in the Choice Building this year, so I just recalculated the numbers and you can see them there. The change one that we're talking about on this one, I'm asking for $26.75 per month from them. Last year was at $23.08, so about a $366 increase. We had a substantial increase in our rent. We have a 3-year rent at the Choice Building that we had signed a few months ago. So I'm just asking the board's permission to enter into this change agreement. It's important to note, I will sign the agreement, but the county still needs to sign off on that with their commissioners. So I'm doing our half right now, and then the county will do their half.
Okay, do I have a motion for the Change Academy lease agreement?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Is this considered income, basically, or is it more cost avoidance for?
I mean, it's
Choice
cost
Academy?
avoidance. It comes in as income, obviously, but we just apply it right to our rent.
Yeah.
It's been helpful. I mean, it saves us, whatever that is.
Cost
12,
savings.
Absolutely.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. That's rain.
It's raining.
Item H4, it's hail.
Hope your windows are up.
Oh my gosh, it is hail.
So much for
Hail.
It is.
Oh, it is hail.
It is hail.
We need to call the meeting.
No, I'm
Well,
not going
we
out
have
in
two
it.
more
Corey's got
items.
Get her car down.
Item
Yeah,
H14
insurance.
is the Case lease agreement.
So same vein, same building. This is just Case where we're signing an agreement with DeKalb Eastern. They occupy one room of the Choice Building, so a lot smaller square footage. So that's why you can see on this Case agreement, we're going to $700. Last year was around $640, so only a $60 increase for that room. DeKalb Eastern, DeKalb Eastern has already signed off on this, so once we have board approval, we can sign off on it. So I would just ask the board's permission to enter into this lease agreement.
Do I have a motion for the Case lease agreement?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item H15 is the classified certified director's administrative raises and benefits.
Saving your best for last, I guess, as a board, is our last board item tonight. I've made no secret to the board or to our administrative team that employees are by far the most valuable commodity in this district as far as I'm concerned. I'm happy to work with two people up here that agree with me on that. As I delved into raises, we are in, obviously, I've talked to this board and our staff members with the uncertainties surrounding SEA 1 and other things going on in public education. Talking to a lot of my cohorts in the area, raises are tough, but as I've looked things over, we are in a very good financial position compared to a lot of our neighboring districts and throughout the state. I find it important as I've looked at our classified staff in particular, and in talking with Melissa Helmsing, our HR admin, you know, we've got to be competitive. We've got to stay competitive with our wages. So that being said, I'm bringing for the board's consideration salary increases that average 5% across the board for our classified directors and administration. You'll note on here I do have the scale from 0 to 8%. I have a couple of outliers that I can outline for you that went a little higher, that needed some adjustments. I want to note, none of them are administration. Administration's raises were flat across the board at 5%. Okay? The only raises that exceeded that 5%, we had, I think, 3 or 4 people where I needed to make an adjustment based on job requirements. We had one of them is our bus mechanic that had hired on at a probationary rate that I raised higher than 5% because that's what we had promised her when we first hired her. She's done a phenomenal job, but pretty much across the board, we're going 5%. Now, that said, I try to include some rough numbers for you in terms of the estimated cost. When I say rough, I mean these are probably very high because you're going to pay some of our teachers with title money, things like that. When I do my budgeting on our staff, I don't even consider the fact that I get to pay a small percentage of our staff through title funds and things like that. I apply it all to my education and operations funds. And that just kind of gives me that cushion and that safety net for when things happen. You've met some of our retirees tonight. We had 12 retirees, and a lot of them were up at the top of the pay scale. So that has helped us with this decision. Being in the second year of our certified contract helped me a lot. Certified staff, teachers will all receive $1,500. If you remember last year, they received $3,250. So in the second year, they will receive the $1,500. And along with our certified staff, keep in mind that will also, and I think I put it in the memo, account for our deans. Certified staff, they're outside of the bargaining unit. Teachers are the only people that fall within our bargaining unit, collective bargaining. But we have our 2 deans at the high school and the middle school and the 4 elementary deans. We have our district communication director. We have our elementary curriculum director. Those are certified positions that fall outside. So that's, I can't do the math, 8 people, 8 or 9 people that fall outside. They will also receive that $1,500 raise. I have adjusted the base through that 5%. I didn't have to do anything extra, but through the 5%, that helped me adjust the bottom base for our bus drivers, our nurses, our paraprofessionals. I needed to get our base up. Melissa probably owes me a steak dinner for doing that because I know where our base has been has made her life very difficult. We were competitive with neighboring districts. I'm not a fan of just being competitive. I want to be above our neighboring districts. I want, if there's any question in a potential employee's mind between DeKalb and East Noble, I want to give them every reason to pick DeKalb. So that said, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I'm sure you probably have a few, maybe not, I don't know. But I just want to point out to the board that I've been working on this, as Gina would attest, for a long, long time. And I've done a lot of number crunching. My wife could attest that I've lost a lot of sleep because 5% is not a low number. That is a big number of a raise. And I finally came to peace, and our employees probably won't hear this. I'm confident this is going to be fine. I'm confident DeKalb has turned a corner with enrollment. We saw it this spring where our number was the lowest it had been in terms of a drop-off. I hear nothing but excitement in the community. I hear nothing from Steve but, hey, this person's moving in and this person's moving in. I don't know if he tells me that right when he's asking me to spend money, maybe to butter me up.
Just when he wants his mileage signed.
I'm sorry?
Just when he wants his mileage signed.
So, but, you know, if the worst case scenario would come to pass and I discover that, whoa, this might have been a little bit too much, just remember, this is a 1-year thing. Next year, like I wouldn't have come to the board with anything less than 2.5% to 3%. I never want to do that in any year unless the state really gets drastic with us. So if we went 2.5% this year and 2.5% next year, there's your 5% that I'm asking for this year. So if the worst were to happen, which it's not going to, in my opinion, in a year, I would have just had to come back next year with no raise. The reason we're able to do this, I think it's important to note, is by no small measure the work that Gina does in the business office, and my predecessor, Steve Snyder. Both have done excellent jobs of being fiscally responsible with this district. And, you know, this is a group effort to be able to right the ship a little bit for pay-wise for our classified staff. So I would just respectfully ask the board to consider that.
And I will say that we started having conversations in, February? So I know this is something that you have worked the numbers over and over and over, and we've had conversations along the way. So I know all the thought and care that you put into this.
I consider this the biggest part of my job,
Yeah.
is taking care of our employees and paying them as much as I can. That said, and all our administration is pretty much in this room, you know, be ready at our next, you know, administrative meeting where if things are going the wrong way, which again, I don't believe they are, I'm confident that in all of our administrative team to be able to tighten the buckle and the belt. And, you know, if we have to make a few cuts, I want it to be anywhere but with employees. And if the board remembers the conversations I've had with you, it is a razor-thin margin outside of our salary and benefits to be able to make cuts, but it's not impossible. We can make those cuts. With our increase that we're going to get in education funding, it'll be about $2.5 million. You know, this total above, between the funds doesn't equal $1 million in excess for the district. I'm confident, and that's all I can say. I'm confident in telling the board we can sustain this raise.
In the benefits area, the item C that was highlighted, is that something that was a change because it was highlighted? Is that correct?
Can you, yeah, will you tell me which one you're looking at? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Admin.
The admin?
Yes. Was that highlighted because it was a change, or?
I did not have any changes in the admin benefits, so let me see what. I might miss not.
6C,
6C?
yeah,
Just before sick leave.
a retired employee.
Yeah, I can't answer why it's highlighted.
Oh, okay.
It shouldn't be. I'll get rid of the highlight. That's not a change.
Okay.
That's just talking about insurance eligibility, and their plan can't bring additional people on it once they've retired.
Okay. I was just curious why it was highlighted.
Yeah.
So.
My mouse might have
Yeah, no changes to the
crazy.
Okay. You and your
admin
mouse.
benefit package.
All right. At this time, I'll ask the board for a motion to approve the classified certified directors, administrative raises, and benefits.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
When would these go into effect?
July 1,
July 1?
fiscal year.
And you said this also takes into account base raises, right?
Correct. This is all based on the base, yes. Yeah, with that 5%, once I took that from our lowest paid employee, that became the new base.
Now, with the additional employees that we'll have to hire for the NEISEC change, I mean, that won't happen this year, but
Right.
will that help us be more competitive?
That's my goal.
Okay.
And most of them will be certified,
I was gonna
which
say,
is
would-
when we
would
raise
any of
that
the-
base rate of certified pay, we're at 49,250 or 49,500 now, 250, thank you. So, you know, we're right there at that 50,000 area. By the time we're hiring those co-op people, we'll be above the 50,000 number,
Right.
which is what the state is going to go to shortly.
Right. Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Just remember when I started teaching, I thought if I could get to $50,000 a year, man,
Same,
I could retire rich.
yeah.
My license expires in about 3 weeks, so I'm not coming back. Just FYI.
We still have volunteers.
We do take volunteers. Yes, we
Take
do.
volunteers, yes.
I'm busy enough.
Gina made me feel very old the other day. She probably won't remember when she showed it to me, but she was going through old records and found one of my first contracts at DeKalb. Do you remember what it was for?
Not for mine.
It was very depressing. Well, it would be the same as his because we came in
23,500.
23,500.
23.5.
Mine was a little above 18
Mine was
with coaching.
27.
I had to remember if we were driving cars back then, if we were on horse and buggy.
Sorry, horse and buggies. You didn't have cell phones.
No cell phones.
No travel, Linda.
There was one phone in the office for staff to use at a little desk.
To call parents with.
Absolutely.
I remember.
Okay, well, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I thank you. Staff thanks you. This is a big move for DeKalb Central.
Absolutely.
Another big move.
Another big move.
And with that, it brings us to item I, miscellaneous, and I will ask our board members if they have anything this evening.
Wow,
I
a
was
year
gonna say, it's a
ago,
little quiet down there.
a year ago, it seemed like we were throwing dirt at the football field, wasn't it? We did our,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Where did a year go? It's crazy.
Dirt now.
I was trying to write down all the things that happened, and I finally just gave up because I forget things. And I remember coming out because I wanted to see the press box put on top of the bleachers.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, wow, that sucker's huge. And then we were pushing to get everything ready for the band competition so we could, and that just exploded the buzz in the community, and how the year has been amazing, I think. It's just the people that come up and talk to us, and even not from our school, like, wow, DeKalb's really moving. I go, yep, that's the plan, and we're not gonna stop our feet. So it's been a great year, and looking forward to the next school year. Administrators, people think that schools are closed in the summer. They have no idea the turnover of personnel and the communication and the interviews, people coming, people leaving. They're like, yeah, there's no school in the June and July. Yeah, obviously you don't work at school. So I want to thank the administrators and the superintendent's office for the downtime. That's probably busier than the busy time with all the talking to people and communicating and getting things shut down from last year and looking back and like, wow, July is here. And then school, won't mention that yet, but it's just, time flies when you're 67. So enjoy it while you can. It's been a great year, so I'm done.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
That was actually
It was a
short.
good year.
I almost brought my pom-poms out, but
Yeah. Well, thank
do have
you.
them.
No, there has been a lot of great things happening, and I keep hearing from our newest alumni, oh, that's happening now that we're gone. So I'm like, well, it took you guys going through to realize
right.
what we needed. So, but yeah.
They got the new bleachers. That was pretty big. Thanks to Mark and your push to get all that going. That was a great time.
Good. All right. Do you guys have
I
anything?
would just say, I'm sorry, was it to us?
Mhm.
I would just say, at the beginning, when we had our retirees, how cool that was. I knew all those people, Steve and I think, we probably said it way too much, once that Steve and I came in together 34 years ago, or 34 years ago. I've said it a million times, DeKalb's a special place. I look at this table, all Barons. It's just cool. It's, those are some quality individuals we just recognize in retirement.
Yep.
One of the goals I always have when I do the raises is I want people like that. I want people that are going to stay here for 30 or 40 years and say, I don't want another job. I want to be at DeKalb. So I just wanted to, I never like to interrupt when the proceedings are going on with retirements, but those are all solid individuals and had great impacts on me as a young teacher and both my kids that went through DeKalb. So I just want to throw that out to the board.
You can see the emotion that, it's
Oh.
tough to go.
Absolutely.
It's tough to go and to get up and talk, and it's a good thing, but it's tough to go.
Well, and Jamie was a coach and teacher of mine as well,
Yeah.
so it's an emotional time.
You're young.
All right. Anything else?
I can't say it any better. So.
Okay. All right. I thank all of you guys for being here this evening. Is there anyone from the audience that has anything to say? All right. That brings us to, before we adjourn, we will have an executive session here held immediately following the meeting. And then our next meeting is July 21st here at Central Office at 6 p.m. Oh, and we have a special board meeting too on July 31st at 7 a.m. for those who like to come in early.
That's a Friday, right?
That's a Friday morning,
Yay.
Friday before we're back.
Exciting.
At this time, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.